Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. We are once again in Stormworks working on our microcarrier. I got this spawned in the world real quick. I want to show you guys some stuff that I did off camera in between episodes. I got our guns hooked up and everything. We've talked about that a few times, but we'll get into that a little bit more. In this episode, we're going to work on the bridge and the superstructure, and then we're going to work on a meeting room too. So you notice we don't really have any masts on top of the bridge or anything like that. So we're going to work on that, but like I said, I wanted to show you guys the weapon system we got going on right now. I did a couple modifications to it. Now it has identification friendly foe. If you guys want to add that to your own vehicles and be marked as friendly on this, all you have to do is add a laser beacon onto your creation, infrared laser beacon, on channel 121. So if you add that onto your ship, this will see you as a friendly. It will mark you as a friend. It will lock the guns out. So just a little friendly heads up reminder, or, I know a lot of you are building your own planes. It's just something you can add if you'd like. But enough of that. We'll get right into the building. For those of you who didn't see, each side of the carrier is going to have a rotary autocannon, 2 heavy autocannons, and then on top of the carrier, there's a double light autocannon. So there's 5 turrets around the ship. There's some missiles. We talked about that in a couple episodes back. But yeah, I know a lot of you have been kind of asking about the mass and the superstructure and stuff. So we're going to work on it a little bit today. I'm not going to get too much into the bridge, but later on we're going to work on a meeting room a little bit more towards the bow of the ship. But in the meantime, before I kind of just let us run loose into the time lapse, if you guys like this series, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We are slowly picking away at it. We got a couple other builds going on. If you didn't see, I had a helicopter come out yesterday. That is an attack helicopter not yesterday. This is, I'm recording it. When I recorded it, came out yesterday. Anyways, I have an attack helicopter out on my workshop. You guys can check that out. It's called the AW-19. It's a single-seater attack helicopter. It is designed to work on this carrier, so there's that. I know some of you have kind of been asking if I'm going to make a helicopter and stuff. Also, for those of you who participated in the plane challenge, we'll probably have a helicopter challenge coming up too. It won't be as long as the plane challenge. I kind of just made that a little bit longer for personal reasons. I traveled and stuff, but I'm back. We're done with that. So as soon as all those are done and we get done with the plane challenge, we'll probably start a helicopter challenge if any of you want to get a head start on that. The dimensional limits are going to be more or less about the same as the planes. The dimension limit really was based on how big the deck was. So if you can make a helicopter fit in that box, you will also be able to use it on this carrier. But enough of that. I'm going to let the time lapse roll for a little bit, and then we will come back in and I'll talk a little bit more about kind of what I'm working with on the mast and how all that's going to work. And then, like I said, later on, we will get into kind of like a mission planning meeting room. All right, so we got the mast more or less complete. There's a few more lights I got to add onto it. Like I need to kind of move the hard to move lights. I don't know what the technical term for those are. They are the white and red ones that are in a triangle. The rest of the lights are there. The yellow one is for towing. Then we have our basic navigation lights. I have a couple other communication things on there, but I really wanted to get the mast. I think it'll kind of start making this thing feel a lot more put together. We still have a lot more kind of paint work to do. Cat, what are you doing? I don't know if you guys can hear my cat in the background playing with plastic, but yeah, that's that. But yeah, so I think the mast is looking good. We finally got some navigation lights going on. I added some handles so you can technically climb it. Probably not the easiest climb. But yeah, so we're going to kind of move on from here to a meeting room. Before we do that, there's just a few things I wanted to mention. So in the beginning, you saw me playing around with pivots and pistons and stuff. The reason I was doing that was because this mast is higher than the bridge clearance in a lot of the bridges in the game. So I wanted to make sure that it could kind of fold down. So once you get that folded down, you can take this thing under bridges. And that was really important. I don't want you guys to be limited in the area you can drive the boat, as well as if you do hit something, it has a little spring back, so it should just kind of flop down and then pop back up when it can. So you can fold it manually, but you don't need to. It's just a small feature I wanted to kind of add because it's very convenient. And real quick, before we get into our meeting room, there's just a few more lights I got to add. I got to add our forward masthead, which isn't a masthead, and the lights in the rear. I'm going to add another tow light in the rear, that yellow one. Then later on, I'm going to add, I don't think I do this on camera, but I'm going to add the hard to position lights, or sorry, hard to maneuver lights. And that's going to be the white, red, white on the rear of the mast. And then we're going to add some minesweeping lights, which kind of a goofy name. That's not necessarily the whole purpose of them. But basically, there are 3 green lights in a triangle on top of the masthead that basically says, "Stay clear of me, I am dangerous to you." And yes, that is technically used for mine clearing activities, but in this sense, you're probably not going to be doing mine clearing in an aircraft carrier. But it is a warship, so I thought it was kind of nice to have some lights that kind of tell other people, hey, leave me alone. You should not be near me. But enough of that. We're going to get that done, and then we're going to move it over into the meeting room, which I think you guys will like. It turns out pretty cool. All right, so we are in this tiny little room I've cut off. I don't know why the screen is going crazy right now. I'm sorry. But yeah, we're just kind of adding a bunch of seats and screens and stuff in here. The seating layout's actually going to change a little bit. I changed it off camera just because it's very crowded. But we do end up just getting a lot of desks in here, basically. So it's basically like a mission briefing, meeting room, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to have some seats in here, some equipment. We're going to have kind of like a cool little metal wall. Definitely when the ship comes out, check out those metals. They're all labeled. Give some of them kind of funny names. And then I'm going to add like a screen that's kind of got like map info and a picture of the, or a video feed of the deck and stuff like that. But nothing too crazy in here, just trying to fill in the space in the interior of the ship. This is something that definitely is needed if you're doing a lot of aerial operations like you would on a carrier. Definitely need to have like a mission briefing and whatnot. But just to kind of give you guys like a nice little heads up, the other side of this wall is going to turn into the mess hall, which is kind of a weird location for it, but I ended up thinking that that was probably going to be one of the better places to put it. And then below this, on the floor below, in between the hangar, because these two decks are kind of cut off by the hangar and the length of the ship, so they're a little bit smaller. But below this, we're going to have an armory and a med bay, and then there's going to be a bunk room for the quartermaster, and then there's also just kind of going to be like a seating area, hangout, just not like a hangout area, but it's going to be a little bit more open with a bunch of different equipment, maybe where you could meet someone, talk about stuff, or you know, if you're working in the hangar, it's a nice little area to come in from the hangar and kind of take a break real quick. So that is something you can look forward to. We're going to get into those a lot later down the line. Like I said previously, we are going to fill pretty much all of the interior space of this ship. So these are the kind of things that we need to think about, what kind of rooms we want. And, you know, we don't really have a shortage of space, but also the interior of this thing isn't massive. So we can't add everything. I'm trying to add the more important things, in my opinion. Like this would be a rather important thing to have on an aircraft carrier. I also wanted to kind of talk about something else that I worked on. I don't know if you guys want me to make a video on it. I made a really, really small drone gunboat for this ship. It kind of just autonomously will follow the ship. Let me know if you want me to release the videos on that. I can probably it's probably going to be like 2 videos total for that. But yeah, basically it's literally just like a tiny little autonomous gunboat, and it will follow the ship. It will rotate around you. And then if you need to, you can kind of take over, but it's got a heavy autocannon on it and then 5 missiles. And, you know, I've tested it out. It's pretty fast. It's fun. It works decent. You know, I won't say the logic in the drone is incredible. It's not going to just avoid objects. So if you're not in the open ocean, you might want to control it yourself, but for the most part, it stays pretty close to the carrier, and it will just kind of follow you and kind of rotate around you, and you don't really have to worry about it while you're in transit. So that's something else that I kind of have worked on in the background. Let me know if you guys want to see that. I can kind of explain how the logic in that works. It's pretty simple, honestly. But yeah, that's going to be just about it for this episode. I'm just kind of finishing up. There's an equipment closet back here that we make a lot bigger later on. Again, I'm going to kind of change the seat layout in here. I just think it's a little too cramped. You don't need that many seats. So this closet can get a little bit bigger, and then we'll kind of move the big seats in. I turn them into a lot of like the 1x2 passenger seats that are a lot smaller. So we get about the same amount of seating in this room. After I do that, it's just kind of a different layout. But yeah, guys, that's, like I said, that's all I have for this one. So we'll get in the world. I'll kind of show you off what we worked on. So you can see the mast, it folds up nicely there, and we're just going to head straight into the meeting room. But like I said, that is pretty much all we have for this one. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel out a lot. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.